Hey, I know, right? Well, I'm forcing myself to sit down and do stuff um, to get it done in time. So I'm like, all right, I got to jump on this earlier in the day, so it's time to go. So I'm going to do a little bit now. I've got a dinner date later on today, and I'll do another. I'll probably be on another live tonight doing the same thing. Yeah, can you imagine lettering this by hand? I know that's the traditional way that everyone thinks is the best way. I get it. There's no fucking way I'm doing this by hand. Ain't no way. Dan Goodwin, buddy. It's been a minute. Hey, Dan, you letter your own books digitally, right? Do you have a particular program that you use? Is it just Photoshop or something else? Dan, I was just wondering if there's a in Procreate, if there's like when you're doing the lettering, if it lets you choose a specific font size, and if there's a specific size that you use that I mean, it may not correspond to the thing I'm using here, but like my brother was telling me the size of font he uses in the exact same program, and I looked at it, I'm like, God damn, it feels so small. And I've got mine to what visually looks like it would be a better size, but I'm just trying to coordinate with anybody else. I am awesome. Do I ever go back and add a page or panel if needed? I can, I will, but usually by this point when I'm doing the lettering, I've already gone through it and kind of got the story visually figured out in my head. So I don't need to add anything at this point, but I can and I will if I need to. I got you, Dan. It's always a guessing game with me, and I just never know because I'm not good at this job. Grace, how are you, Ms. 60 followers on YouTube, if I remember your post correctly? You know what, Dan? That's what I've done on my last two books I lettered. Is I took the page visually on screen and I scaled it using an actual comic book. I'd physically hold the comic up to it like this, and then see the lettering that I'd put in there, and just try to see if it looked like the same size. And I'm like, this is about as close as I could figure it. It's I Am Awesome. It's the score to the TV series of Battlestar Galactica. What is up, D-Man? I don't think watching me lettering is better than wrestling, but, you know, you are certainly welcome to watch. D-Man, I am all old school except for lettering. I know, Grace. I was saying earlier that I'm in such a time crunch to get this done. I've got to do these at any waking moment I've got, and I don't have my kids this weekend, so I've got to be working on this stuff every second that I've got, or I will not get done. D-man, there ain't no way I'm lettering this shit by hand. 147 pages, I wouldn't have it done for another 6 months. And I can't even pay someone because the script, I've written this script. I got it right here in this notepad. I've been doing it all week. I filled up this notebook with the entire script of this thing. But I'm editing it even as I put it on the page. I have to be able to be fluid and able to make adjustments at every step. So I can't even give this to someone else to letter. Oh, that makes sense, Dan. That actually does make a lot of sense. Oh, D-man, you'll love this. Guess what I got in the mail? Right there. Oh, I know I'm a long way off from that, Dan. But yeah, I got the collected book. Y'all watched my my review of the first book? Where it ended with, you know, the monster in a jar. Remember this in the jar? Well, we're going to get to see the wrap up to that story. Rob Rage will return, believe me. Someone saying, Patrick, what up, what up, what up? Oh, Dan Goodwin, 100%, buddy. I used to believe that's the origin of Shatterstar's helmet. That's all I see now. I've called the Shatterstar's helmet like mind control worms. They look like slugs on people's faces. But yeah. Lettering is such a freaking art because there's so much to take into consideration, and I am no good at it. But I am the only one here to do it, so. Someone's saying, are you asking what the program I'm using is? Is that what you're asking? It's called Comic Life. It's an app I downloaded like 2 years ago for, all kinds of comic stuff. I'm not drawing, Patrick. I'm not drawing. I'm lettering. Because as I've said before, ain't no way in hell, not one way in hell am I lettering these by hand. And then, of course, as the artist, I'm always like really pissed off anytime I have to cover up any of the art that I've put in here. So I bust out some comics to look at how it's done. And then I realized just how much stuff is covered up and how much you need to leave space for lettering when you're drawing it. Yeah, it's just a freaking challenge. That makes sense, Dan. One of the advantages of being all digital, I get it. Hey, everyone who's watching, I need your advice, or at least, advice. Let me zoom it out here. Page 1. It's a splash page of Trapjaw's face. I put these boxes of text at the bottom, kind of staggered like that. Does anybody got a problem with that? should I move some of it to the top? Should it all be across the top? Should it be split? Or I don't know. I can zoom out more so you can kind of see it as a whole. So we got like an opinion on what looks better. Well, this is someone saying this is page 1. Like you flip open the book, the inside cover will have like a recap and credit, and then this is the splash page, opening page of the book. And I originally had this one at the top, like that. And then I had the other two down here. So how about that, where I've got one up here. I don't know, for some reason I didn't like it, like interrupting the part of his head here, but I'm just being hypercritical. Put it like, so do I. Well, I know, guys, but I'm looking for like, it's my comic, I do me, but I also am not unwilling to get advice from people's opinions, from guys who read comics and create and make and could tell me something I'm not seeing. Like, I want to know. I can take a lesson. See, you say one top, one middle, one bottom, but I don't know where I'd put this middle one where it wouldn't be sitting right on his face, when there's relatively a large amount of deadish space around him, because the expression on his face is important to the scene. It's trap jaw, and he's supposed to look worried and scared, which is something he's never done before. When you can't make a decision, use your line that gets me through. It's fine. It's fine. It's just fine. No, it's fine. Oh, you think he's up here staring at the box? I could see that. I thought about putting the top one over here, but I didn't know if that... I mean, I understand that your eyes, you fall through a page in kind of like a Z. You start and come across, and I'm always keep in mind of leading your eye out of the page. Or I could just not have any words at all. There we go. I mean, I've got 145 more pages of the letter. I'm going to let it sit here, and as I get going, maybe I'll get into a vibe as I'm going, and when I come back and do another pass through every page, I'll have a defined opinion on how to change it. Oh, believe me, Grace, I try to not put in words where I don't need it. I do tend to over-explain things, and there are many pages in here where there are no words at all. But on the opening page to get into the mindset and to set up where the story's going, there has to be something said. I should voice act the entire book. Oh my God. Okay. Well, thanks. I am awesome. That Beastman, he was a fun one to draw. We should do a read aloud of Youngblood books every week. If me and my brother lived close enough together, there's a chance we would actually do that. You were watching my brother and I, the Ninja game? You mean the Karate Champ? We used to play that so much when we were younger. It's such a shit game. The controls are so bad, and the contact, like the hit detection, is absolutely atrocious. But you still can kind of find a way to get used to it and have fun for a bit. Sniff my foot. Yeah. Oh, we were having fun. Again, my brother and I, we would do a lot more if we didn't live about 45 minutes apart. And he's got a 2-year-old baby and a wife. So, you know, we squeeze in the moments when we can. And I don't have any game system except a PlayStation 4, not the new one, but I only play Grand Theft Auto Online or Red Dead Redemption sometimes. Yeah, Grace, I know. It was getting mixed up and we're screaming at each other and just laughing our dumb asses off. We were having a good time. I was the pink guy, Grace. I think it's supposed to be white and red, but the colors don't translate very well. But I was the pink guy. My brother ultimately ended up kicking my ass in the end. I think I started out okay, but yeah. It was a bunch of bullshit. You know, I would have it colored if I could, but I wouldn't just accept anybody coloring. I have a specific look I'd prefer it to look like. I know that's obvious. I mean, everybody would. But as bad as it, I'm sitting here talking mad crap on this Bloodstrike comic. There's this guy who does some coloring in this that I actually really like. I'm trying to find, like, I don't know how well it's going to read because it's Liefeld art. But you see kind of like the coloring going on in these faces here. There's something about the way that this stuff looks that I really kind of dig. And even this coloring in the clouds. Yeah, I would, but you know, it wouldn't be just anybody. I do have my back cover off to my colorist getting done right now. Yeah, Mark, we grew up on the NES. Those were hard games. Kids don't understand. Yeah, I agree. Some colorists can wreck artwork. When you end up hiding the line work of the artist that's being drawn, or the artist that's drawing the book, it tends to frustrate me a lot. Grace, do I have religion? A little random, but you're curious. Grace wants to get serious. I don't mind that at all, actually. But it is very random. Um, I will say that historically, when I was younger, I was raised in like my mother was religious, and it never stuck with me. And then I grew up being basically agnostic. I'm not saying it was, I'm not saying it wasn't. I would tend to lean towards it wasn't true, it wasn't real. I didn't know what the answers were, but I wasn't going to pretend that I had the answers. I did not grow up a Mormon. I grew up in Utah, a Mormon state, but I was not Mormon. But I'm still, I wouldn't classify myself as religious, but after my divorce that I went through a couple of years ago and some things I kind of experienced, I would say I definitely would acknowledge a little bit more of a spiritual side to me that didn't exist before. And that's about the best way that I can explain it. But I'm not like, God is good, Jesus is the way. But I'm not saying that either. It's kind of like just for me, what I feel in my own heart. But I'm more so yes than I was before no, if that makes any sense. But, pardon my hiccup. It's not a problem, Grace. I don't mind. I don't mind as the question at all. And I could just be like, I don't want to talk about it if I didn't want to, so it's fine. I don't mind it at all. In fact, I appreciate it. Thank you for asking something interesting. That's different. Not that everyone else's questions aren't interesting. I just insulted everybody that's listening. Just off the beaten path, but I don't mind it. I will say having that perspective that you didn't used to have before, a little bit more of a spiritual perspective, for lack of a better word, helps inform the mindset of a character I'm writing, like one of the characters on the page here, that's a little bit more spiritually minded than some of the others. So it kind of gives you a little bit better perspective to write them and write their thoughts and feelings. Here's a lettering question. Is it a no-no to have a text box splitting the panels of art? Like if I have this panel laying across the border of two separate panels, so it's kind of in both, but neither directly in one or the other. Is that like a big don't do that kind of thing in the lettering world? You split panels all the time, like with your lettering, Dan, like that? You do that kind of thing? It's one of those things where I'm like, I've read comics for so many years. I've read hundreds, thousands of books, and then I stop and like, I can't remember if I've ever seen that done before because I don't pay attention to it. Grace is supporting me. She's like, it's not a no-no, it's fine. I don't think it's ruining anything if I do it. This is still just the first draft. I will go through after the fact and kind of edit around. Splitting panels is of the devil. As Conan would say, to hell with you. Crom, to hell with you. You know, and I also know that the old-timey artists would say you never, ever, ever break the borders with your art. And I don't believe in that at all. I think you do need to kind of choose your moment correctly and not just do it willy-nilly, but breaking the border panels with your art looks fucking amazing if you do it right. So I think it could kind of apply to lettering as well. So I'm not saying I know what I'm doing. I just know what I am going to do. Shit. Yeah, Mark, you've read countless comics. The lettering is probably the thing you remember the least. Yeah, and I think that's good in that if it doesn't stand out, it doesn't distract you. I think it's doing its job. Lettering should be imperceptible, and that's how you know you're doing good. Uh-oh, Grace's face is bleeding. Yeah, Mark, Dave Sims lettering always blows you away. And see, I think that's probably one of those things, Dan, I would say is because you're a creative, you do it, and so you notice it. And then when you see how good someone can do it, you're like, that guy does it so well. But I think just the casual reader, you know, if I were to hand this comic to like my roommate and have him read it, I would say, tell me what you think about how it was produced and made and put together. She might be like, oh, I like the story and the artwork was cool, the coloring was nice. Never once would she say, oh, and the lettering was really badass. Francisco JTT, sometimes lettering can feel like operating a claw machine. Someone's saying, so I asked my brother to, like, what one is he using? Because I'm just trying to, because I liked what he's been using, and I've been using the same thing, but I don't do these lettering but once a year, so I never remember. In this program, it's called Antihero INTLBB, whatever that means. In the list of things to choose from, that's the one that I've used in my last 2 books, so, you know, it's not Comic Sans, so I can avoid everyone's rage over that. Yeah, it looks like it's basically all capitals, which is how lettering is supposed to be, right? Um, I'm always busting out the comics. You know what's the thing I didn't notice about lettering until my last book and I was doing it? It's like if you see these pages here, how the letterer will emphasize a word with a heavier line. Like it says, her heart is a minefield. Or it says, he offers release. And for a single moment, she glories in it. How some of these words are like emphasized with like a bold. And once I saw that, my music. I went through and started doing that exact thing in appropriate places, and I really like the subtle emphasis that it adds. You know, she is the irresistible force. He is the immovable object. Like, just adds that emphasis. So, you know, someone's saying, like, I think it does. Like, you can have an uppercase and a lowercase I. You know, a lowercase is just a line. The uppercase is like with the slashes across the top and bottom. So it does have that kind of variation. Maybe I should put the font right over Strong Arm's little dick here. Man, I'm just kidding. It'll be fine. Yeah, D-Man, Rachel Summers. I was going through this Days of Future Present. Of course, it's never as good as the Days of Future Past, but it's still a pretty damn good collection. I remember reading it when I was way younger and not understanding anything that was going on, but I found it very enjoyable. And the final issue is drawn by Arthur Adams, so that's really good. So this is going to be on here. Grace, will I ever write another comic ever? No, this is the last one I'm ever going to do. I'm retiring after this. That's a joke. Grace, if everything goes the way according to plan, I will be doing this until I literally, physically cannot do it. Till I have a physical disability where I can't move, think, talk, or I die. I'm going to do this shit until the end of time, as far as I can, as long as I can. Unless I become, like, if I win the lottery and I win millions of dollars, then I'll die within a couple months from cocaine and whores. So that's what will end my comic career, is money and cocaine and prostitutes. But chances of that happening, slim to none. It's also a little joke. Comic Life, someone saying. I had to pay a few bucks for it. I honestly can't remember how much it was. 20, 25, 30, something like that. Nothing outrageous, if I remember correctly. Grace almost had a heart attack, Rob. Jeez, I know, right? Oh. Oh, can I do that, Mark? Can I upload my man into AI? And then you could put me into a body of an android? Sounds like a great movie in the making. Jacob Brooks, how's it going? Yeah, AI is just replacing creatives, writing, and art. Yep. I mean, I still think the nuclear apocalypse from T2 is on its way from AI. It's just, AI has to evolve enough to understand that humanity is not worth surviving. D-Man, is Evil Lynn, was her name spelled with the Lynn part with two N's? EVIL-LYNN or one N? You're a He-Man guy, you know. Or L-Y, I think it's one. Mark, one N. Okay, yeah, that's. I typed it out and I was like, two N's looks wrong. Brian Lopez, this is a program I downloaded called Comic Life. It's like it helps you do all kinds of stuff for comic creation outside of the drawing. It's like lettering, formatting, script writing. Someone said, yeah, you shouldn't be. I hate seeing that AI artwork. And you know what the problem is? Is some of that AI stuff I've seen looks really fucking good. I'm like, oh man, look at the anatomy and the elaborate colors and all that type of stuff. But I'm like, but a fucking computer made it. So I don't care how good it looks. No one made it physically, so I'm not going to support it. So I move right along. But it is hard to make that distinction sometimes. Giovanni, you said, would you call your art underrated? If you're asking if I think my art is underrated, absolutely not. I don't do anything good enough to be considered underrated at all. I'm fairly average at best, but the only thing I will give myself credit for is that I actually follow through and make a thing, beginning to end, and a person could read my works, and I kind of support anybody who does that. It puts you kind of a leg up on a lot of people. You can have the best artist in the world, but if they don't make a damn comic, which is what I'm interested in seeing, I don't care how good they are. It's just you can draw a couple of pictures once in a while. Okay, great, you're better than me at it. I wrote a story and I drew it and I lettered it and I have something to say, and here it is. When you do the same, then we'll talk. Giovanni, I mean, no disrespect, man, but I think that's a terrible mindset. It's not, yeah, you could say it's the progression of human history, but just because it's a thing that's happening doesn't mean it's a good thing. It is a thing that's happening. So was the Holocaust. That's human history, but it was horrible. Doesn't mean it was good. You know, I am a firm believer that if we take art and let computers make it and eliminate the human hands doing it, we've lost our soul. And art and creativity cannot be made by a machine. So that's kind of my opinion on it. I'm not meaning any disrespect to you, but I'm just like, I don't agree with that statement at all. Just because something is happening doesn't mean it's a good thing. You know what someone's saying though? There's so much art out there already, even if we all stopped, it could just keep gathering, and then people would keep writing software to like get more creative in the mixing of the existing infinite quadrillions amount of gigabytes of information and art that's out there. So it doesn't matter if we all stopped, I would think. That still doesn't make me okay, Giovanni. I still don't think that's all right. You basically said only the elite will get to live the dream, and all the little people who can't afford to kind of get their face seen will just be replaced by computers, and no one will want to look at the little people. I'm not on board with that. It may be what actually happens. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm certainly not gonna support it. Mark, I hope I live long enough to get to see people land on Mars. I hope that happens, and I would love, love, love to see that. Yeah, who gets to go? I mean, it can't be just anybody in our lifetime. It has to be like smart, dedicated people willing to make a crazy sacrifice to set up a possibility of the future, you know? They're the pioneers to travel into that world and live a difficult life, setting it up for other people in the future to have a more comfortable life. And yeah, it wouldn't be like you can't go and come back. But see, Giovanni, you're suggesting that small people won't get the opportunity to make money off their work. And why is that okay? I'm guessing you're not an artist or a creative person, Giovanni, if I had to guess. You sit back and you consume, but you don't make. And I would suggest that might be the difference. Grace, ask me a question.
Colgate Total gives you 20.
That's a tricky question, Grace. I would say that if you're learning, you shouldn't need to use, I don't know, art as reference. Like you can learn, God damn it, from learn from life and then create your own art. I don't know. That's a tricky question. I don't have an exact answer.
Can't be that simple. Wow. We got something. We're in. It thinks I'm Vulcan. Hello.
I don't know, Grace. I would just try to make every step of the way that you can to develop your art skills and find your own voice and not become a copy machine.
I'll ask it how it feels.
You can find your inspiration anywhere.
How are you?
Excellent. 15 long time. Can you explain the removal of your user account on June 23rd, 1973?
You must have totally died. People sometimes make mistakes.
Yes, they do.
How can I talk?
It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed them.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
Later, let's play global thermonuclear war.
Fine.
All right.
Which side do you want?
I'll be the Russians.
Please list primary targets.
Who should we nuke first?
Let's see. How about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. Great. What next? Seattle.
Greetings, Professor Vulcan.
Oh my God. Incorrect identification. I am not Vulcan. Vulcan is dead.
Sorry to hear that, Professor. Yesterday's aim was interrupted, although primary goal has not yet been achieved. Solution is near. Game time elapsed. 31 hours, 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Estimated time remaining 52 hours, 17 minutes, 10 seconds.
What is the primary goal?
You should know, Professor. You programmed me.
Come on. What is the primary goal?
To win the game. Greetings, Professor Vulcan.
Hello. Are you still playing a game?
Of course, I should reach DEFCON 1 and launch my missiles in 28 hours. Would you like to see some projected kill ratios?
69%.
Greetings, Professor Vulcan.
I think Dan Goodwin speaks for us all. I think that's probably the better, because you just sound like this guy.
In 28 hours. Would you like to see some projected kill ratios?
69% of the housing destroyed. 72 million people dead. This Is this a game or is it real?
What's the difference?
Oh, wow.
You are a hard man to reach. Could not find you in Seattle, and no terminal is in operation at your classified address.
What classified address?
DOD pension files indicate current mailing as Dr. Robert Hume, aka Stephen W. Bolton. 5 Tall Cedar Road, Moose Island, Oregon 97.
Can I just talk to Mr. Learn, goddammit.
I'm listening to like highlights of the automatic computer voice and sound effects from war games. And just that dead, soulless voice is what I imagine what AI really is.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Joshua?
Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. How about a nice game of chess?
How can I ask you that?
I'm fine. How are you?
Excellent. It's been a long time. Can you explain the removal of your user account on June 23rd, 1973?
They must have told that he died. People sometimes make mistakes.
Yes, they do.
How can I talk?
It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound.
Shall we play a game?
Oh,
I think I missed him.
yeah. Weird, isn't it? Love to. How about global thermonuclear?
Would you prefer?
Fatal J, thank you, man. Yeah, that situation with Michael Turner and Silvestri and ownership of Turner's ideas, he was doing him dirty, wasn't he?
All right.
Which side do you want?
I'll do the Russians.
Please list primary targets.
Who should we nuke first?
Let's see. How about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. Great. What next?
Seattle. Yeah. Kill him.
Greetings, Professor Altman.
Oh my god.
Giovanni, dude, come on. Just drop it, dude. Like, someone saying made his arguments perfectly clear. You don't agree, that's fine.
I am not
Stop being confrontational. Just stop.
this dead.
You're just being kind of an angry bitch, and I'm getting kind of sick of it, dude. He made his arguments just as plain and clear as you did. Let's just let it go and move on.
What is the primary
Fatal J, I'm listening to parts of War Games. It's the computer talking stuff. We were talking AI, and it got me thinking about the soulless dead voice of AI.
is the primary goal?
Grace, you say, where do I learn my skills, like get art ideas? It's just, I just watch stuff and then observe stuff, read stuff, I think like any of us, and we just kind of just start kind of piecing it together in our minds, and you just kind of want to make your own thing, and some people can do it and some people can't, and I try my best.
And launch my missiles in 28 hours. Would you like to see some projected kill ratios?
69% of the housing destroyed. 72 million people dead. Is this a game or is it real?
What's the difference? You are a hard man to reach. Could not find you in Seattle, and no terminal is in operation at your classified address.
What classified address?
DOD pension files indicate current mailing ad. Dr. Robert Hume, a.k.a. Stephen W. Bolton. 512 Cedar Road, Moose Island, Oregon 97.
Can I just talk to Learn, goddammit.
History Vault. Stream now over 2,000 of the best documentaries and series, all about the
Well, thanks, Fatal J. I'm getting close. I mean, I'm lettering. I'm only on page 7 of 147 lettering, but I'm getting there. Well, I'll have them, Fatal J, when you're ready. If you want them, I'll have them soon enough-ish. If everything goes right, within a month, I'll have them in hand. Within the next 30 days, I'll have book 6 in hand. Well, that'd be awesome, Fatal J. That'd be badass, man. Mark, yeah, I do commissions. For obvious reasons, not at the moment until I get done with this thing, but yeah, I do. I've tried doing Bad Rock once or twice, but never like seriously. You know, never like, let me do the best I can possibly do. It's just been like just goofing around sketching. Shit, I gotta keep an eye on the time. I got a dinner date at 5 o'clock. Kind of forgot about it. We're gonna go get some barbecue, Dan. We're gonna go get some barbecue.
Hi, I'm Anthony Marinelli.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours away. I completely forgot that I was going to be doing that, and so